Good morning.
Magandang umaga,
Hindi ba
magandang
kayo-
araw sa inyong
Hindi
lahat.
mo ba kayo? May mga ganun yan. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. At
Andito na naman kami.
ito naman tayo. Ito yung topic na. Pero kasi, siyempre, bago tayo mag-umpisa sa lahat. Kasi minsan, pag ikaw itinanong, ano ba yung human being?
Yan ang tanong nga rin.
Di ba? Kasi minsan, pag sinabing human life, ang pinag-usapan, niisip natin, health, yung ating mga gifted talents, yung work, kung saan tayo pinanganak, anong pamilya, anong bansa.
Pero yung human rights nga, kumbaga, ang pinaka qualification mo is that you're born a human. Yun. So,
Ayun,
dapat you don't look at all those things nga. Where you
Kasi
came from, what
the times when
what
you're,
your status
when you're
is.
dealing with human rights, kasi we have to understand what the human being is first
Yes.
before you go in your
The rights.
rights. Kasi when we talk about the right for sa buhay, we all have that right eh. Just like these trees and bamboos
Right
and
to
plants.
life and
Right to life yan eh.
liberty.
So sila, may right din sila. Just as we have rights.
Yeah,
ano ba yung rights natin? What does this right deal with? For example,
Well,
but for
What's
us,
listed is dignity.
we have to first define
Mm-mm.
why are we distinct to all the other,
From animals, for example.
yes, and plants and trees,
Mm-mm.
but yet our essence is the same.
Yes.
We're made of the same energy, spirit. So, when you go Google, pag tinanong mo human life, well, hindi masyadong klaro yung mga definition ng marami, And hindi ma-explain. Kasi again, it goes to function, it goes to health, it goes to social health, it goes to your mental health, ang daming components, di ba? But yet, we are all individuals and distinct individuals. We're different.
Let's
In many
say
ways.
the difference between us and animals. What makes us humans and animals are animals?
If you look at in the lower species of life, animals, for example, yung propensities nila, what are the, ano mga propensities nila?
Or they eat, or we also
We
eat.
eat,
We have children, sila, and
they
they have
reproduce,
children.
diba?
And then they also fight.
They need
Diba?
to
Fight
defend,
and defend themselves.
the
Like,
territory, defend
Oo.
their, kung saan sila kumakain, di
or
ba?
just like when a mother bird is going to have a baby, sinisigurado niya yung nest niya, di
Walang
ba?
predators.
Oo.
Tapos,
Tapos,
ano
ano
pa?
pa ba? They mate, they fight, they defend themselves, they eat, they sleep. O yun, pareho ba tayo lahat? What makes us different?
What makes us different? Sleeping, eating, mating, and defending. Those are the propensities of the lower species of life.
Oo, which we also have,
Which
those
we also have.
propensities. So what makes us a breed apart?
Yeah, distinct from
Yeah.
the lower species. And if you look at the other forms of life, for example,
Basically, meron din sila,
pag
no?
meron sila yung mga animals, agala, they need their homes,
Oo.
they need protection, they
Bali
need food.
plants, ganun din eh, di ba? They
But
have
look at-
a way of fighting. They
look
have
at the
a way
plants.
of defending
Defending.
themselves. And they also have a way of reproducing.
They have
And
their
the
flowers,
plants, oo.
diba? They have seeds,
Or spores. Oo.
spores, whatever.
Or runners.
Dami. Kami tingnan niyo yung kawayan sa likod. Kawayan sa likod
Oh,
is
dumami nga
going
sila.
on 8 years next year.
Oh,
Kapal-kapal. Dami. Offsprings come every year. Every rainy season, a certain time of the year. So, what makes us different?
Ayun na nga.
What is the distinction?
Well, I would say I have a higher purpose. Maybe it's our purpose, right? Why are we here in this world? Tayo lang yata yung nag-iisip nun eh. Parang I don't think.
You ask a cat,
Yeah.
What is the purpose of your life? Titingalaan ka lang, di ba? O kung may dala kang pagkain,
They have a certain level lang of intelligence.
Right.
I mean, they can figure out how to survive and all that.
How to stay
But
healthy.
parang hindi yata sila nag-iisip ng higher than that.
May pagmamahal ba?
O naman, ikikita mo, the mother
Nurtures.
takes care of the children.
Right. Protective.
Mm.
Diba? But how deep? How deep
Well-
does it go? What is the depth of the meaning of that?
And they probably don't think about philosophy
Exactly. Wala.
and spiritual endeavors and things like that, right? That's what
Because
makes us different
Their
from them.
ability, sa intelligence nila, they do have intelligence. They can figure things out, right?
Oh,
But
they
only
know how
the
to use
level-
tools also
Only to the level of things that naturally they
for
can
their
do
survival.
for their survival. Yung propensities nila. They can survive looking for food. They can, kumbaga, ang dami lang means eh.
Yeah, for example, usually birds will get sticks and stones, yeah, and moss to create their nests. But there are some birds now, in the absence of those things, they will get whatever is near them. Like my grandchildren just sent me a nest. Ginamit nung bird, yung hair nung pet nila na dog. I guess she thought, oh, this will be nice and furry and warm. Ginamit niya kasama
Yeah.
nung ibang twigs.
May panahon nga eh.
Oo.
Kasi I raise bees.
So may intelligence din naman
Meron
sila.
kaming bee farms. Yung ibang bee farms nasa urban center and location. Iba nasa suburbs, iba nasa bundok. And napansin namin, one time, ito hindi sa akin, somebody else. This was based in Metro Manila.
Somebody else's hives.
Hives, no?
Mm.
Tataka ako ngayon, bakit? Ba't ang bilis umitim nung kanyang combs?
Maraming propolis. Yung propolis, ano ho yun eh? It's like a gummy substance that they get from the trees. No? Kumbaga parang sap that they collect. Kasi they use it for patching up their hives or it's also medicine
Right.
for them.
Then, one time,
So what was it?
during rainy season, they were,
Oo.
kinukulang sila sa pagkain.
Mm-mm.
Yung napansin namin, uy, this particular colony was bringing in nectar in an unusual time. Tapos may kulay. Dark kulay.
Mabungo pa. May
Sure.
amoy.
Para itong soft drinks. Yeah, serious. Yung pala,
Yung pala,
yung
soft drink
location
na.
niya, somewhere na malapit, meron doon yung Cosmos Bottling Company na I think it's a regional one.
Oh, honey, na Cosmos.
And then you could see the bees going there
Kasi that's full of sugar,
full
no?
of sugar.
Mm-mm.
And then kasi I had to clarify sa kaibigan ko, teka,
Oh,
hindi mo pwedeng anihin yan.
oh,
You know.
this is not honey.
But you see, they're resourceful.
Mm-mm.
They need to survive at all costs.
Mm-mm.
They will find means. Now, you will find when there's a problem with colonies being attacked by wasps, you can see their defense mechanism coming to play. You know? So nakikita niyo yung talino nila. May intelligence sila. But only up to a certain level. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's about where they live. And they will work their whole life pursuing the purpose that they have been given. Yung talent nila, kung anong gagawin nila.
Which
Ano
is
anong
to
contribution nila.
Keep themselves alive.
Right. And
Oo.
then their
And of course,
presence,
they have a contribution.
their
no?
presence is a contribution to the overall well-being and balance of nature.
Mm-mm.
May ganon eh. But see, since the dynamics of our existence in many places in the world, almost 55% of the people are now living in urban centers. So there's so much changes occurring in the existence of the human population. Their values begin to change. And the way they see things, the way they perceive things has changed depending on the environment they are in. So now we find in the human society, there are components to it that helps us. Kumbaga ano, kung trabaho lang tayo ng trabaho, where does that lead us? See, by nature, we seek pleasure. We're pleasure seekers. We want to all be happy in our life. We
Is
work.
that not our birthright also? We have
Exactly.
the right to
Yan
be
nga.
happy.
We have
See?
the right to be happy
It's one of our
and to
human
engage in
rights.
activity that brings this to our existence.
Mm.
Kasi-
We need to have love, compassion, sympathy, generosity, yeah? All those things are part of our human rights and our being human.
Right.
Yeah,
And
humane.
it's a trait eh. Because let's say, in a human being, sa atin, if a person is generous, matulungin ka, you share things to others. Yun yung description of generosity.
Mm-mm.
Di ba? Minsan, hindi lang pera, kung hindi in kind, your time, your sacrifice, your energy, your skill, you're generous with it to make other people's lives better.
And even
in
in the bigger
pursuance-
scale,
In
land, you know, people fight a lot about land.
In
They
pursuance
kill
of
each other
this,
for land.
anyway, in pursuance of this being generous, we feel happiness doing it because that's where we engage in an activity that brings about true satisfaction, which is one, serving, sharing, service. May servisyo ka. So these are things that are, or actions that we can perform in our lives that bring about satisfaction and happiness. Kaya yung mga traits or nature, maganda yung value sa ating buhay, importante. If it's around to defend it, right? Then I have the means to reproduce, magpadami ka ng lahi mo, then, ano pa? Makakain ka.
Yumaman,
Yeah.
mga nagpapayaman.
See, all of these things becomes, kumbaga rin, when the value starts to, kumbaga malabo, yeah, it's not.
Selfish kasi masyado.
And then
Hindi tayo
our,
dapat selfish.
then our lives become miserable. We know that eh. Alam natin, pag meron tayong pakay na ginawa na hindi tama, nandadaman natin ang gusto.
Kasi yung humanity natin requires us to behave in an ethical manner
Yes.
toward each other and toward even our environment. No, as we say nga, pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan, kasali lahat yan
Oh.
sa ating humanity.
Nabanggit nga ni Santo Papa Makela. Hindi siya nakadalo ng dun sa climate change
Yeah.
conference.
COP. COP.
Oh,
COP.
sinabi niya, alam nyo, sabi niya, he doesn't have much time to live eh. Alam niya nadadama niya, may sakit na yung katawan niya. Sinabi niya naman na yung pag-alaga sa kalikasan ay serbisyo.
Mm.
So this is something that some of us can embrace and we don't have to be actually in the church to be able to serve. Yeah,
In fact, sinabi niya parang pagka sinira natin yung kalikasan, it's an offense to God.
Right.
Kasi bigay sa atin yun ni Lord.
Yeah.
Diba? Ganun siya ka mapagmahal sa atin lahat, including sa ating mga kalikasan.
Kasi nga future yan. Anyway, bumati tayo muna.
Yes.
Good morning, Patrick. Good morning to you. Then Al, good morning. Ligaya Dison, good morning. Nabilina, good morning. Then Bong Alan.
And Melina also.
Okay, good morning to all of you.
Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
Sandali na lang. Lumalamig na ba ang mga simoy ng hangin dyan sa inyo?
Siguro dyan, yung mga taga-silang, masarap ang hangin dyan eh.
So the right to a clean environment is a human right. You know?
Yeah.
Kaya kailangan natin ipaglaban. Because unang-una, we are stewards of this world. Yeah, we're not the owners and we're not the controller. Temporary lang tayo. So we need to be able to grasp that and that we should be a part of making it better for everyone. Okay.
Yes. So, itong human rights, importante ito kasi without the human rights, syempre, paano ang mga tao magkakaroon ng equality, for example,
Dignity.
no? Yeah, dignity.
Sharing.
Yes, just like you're talking about sharing, marami sa atin, they're in poverty, no? They need to be able to, ang poverty kasi malaking problema around the world because with poverty, super stressed yung tao, they have no access or very little access to proper health care, even education. No, ang daming opportunities na wala sila. Although we have this written down, not every human being has the right to all of that. Because of poverty and because of governments that are not able to service their people that well, there's still a majority of people that are suffering without their human rights. They don't have access to clean water. They don't have access to proper health care. So we have, ang sinasabi nga sana, if we care about human rights, tumulong tayo sa mga proper agencies who are actually helping women and children kasi they are the most vulnerable of all. Sa tubig na lang, sa issue ng tubig, di ba? Sino ba naglalakad ng kalayo-layo para maghanap ng tubig para sa family? These are the women. Sometimes they'll have to leave their children so that they can go search for water. No? So, and then, if you don't have water, you don't have clean food as well.
Then, siyempre, hygiene.
Hygiene, lahat.
Inside
Everything
and
is
out.
affected. Oo. So, simple things like this have to do also with human rights. No? And if you can't even get water, how can you even have time to figure out education ng mga bata? No? So,
And also the right to life.
yes.
Di ba?
Oo.
Tingnan natin na, even now we have many institutions and countries and laws that support, not recognizing life until a certain time.
Oh, yes. Kasi everyone has the right to live. So, that means we do not have the right to just kill.
Right.
Because we have our own priorities or what, Diba? It's not an excuse to go out there and just kill whoever you want. Because each person has the right to life.
Because we didn't create this life.
Yeah, it's not like I don't like you, you're a different religion or you
Or
look
you're different
different,
people. We find
oo.
all the problems today.
Mm-mm.
It's connected to either resources or cultures, even religious practices that kind of clash. And it becomes a very spark of problems. No?
Or great wars.
Great wars.
Yeah.
Nakikita natin ngayon yan na the rights of humans are just being totally disregarded.
Oo,
Daming
nakalimutan na itong
namamatay.
mga human rights.
Oo.
Mm-mm.
And it has to do with hate, and it has to do with people not understanding or living a life with a reason.
Yeah, kasi human rights includes relating to each other as if we are family. In the spirit of brotherhood or sisterhood. Diba? Not depending on what name you call yourselves, whether you are American, Filipino, all those differences. We should treat each other like family because in the real sense of family naman talaga tayo. We all have one Father and we are all spirit children of God. Whatever you call the God you relate to, there's only one God, really.
So the very essence is the same.
We're all essentially family talaga.
That's why our actions, we may be in different parts of the world. Our needs and our relationship with others, we find almost parehas. Right? Yung
Yeah,
lalim na
you
lang
put-
ng ating buhay.
Diba, if you put a few children together, they might not even look alike. They're different colors and they speak different languages that don't even speak each other's languages. You leave the kids together, mamaya, naglalaro na sila. They're children who are innocent. They don't think about, oh, are you from the same political side? Or are you the same color as me? Children who are so innocent, who are so natural, they will be living together very
Right.
well,
Doesn't
relating
take
to
much.
each other.
Yeah, this is
Kasi
also-
wala silang mga, ito ang belief ko. Kayo, ganyan pala ang belief nyo. Ayaw ko sa inyo. Natural lang sila eh.
or they would share.
Yeah, they share. And they care. Sometimes
Right.
they might see someone, in trouble, and a child automatically comes to help. No? Hindi sila yung iisipin pa kung ano-ano. Tutulungan ko pa to or what? Or I don't like the way he looks. Hindi ganun ang bata eh.
They share what they're eating. They share their toys.
Yeah.
Di ba? It's so spontaneous sa kanila.
Spontaneous and natural because
Yeah.
that's really our nature.
Right.
Before we thought of all this, I belong to this group.
We have titles, such
Yeah.
titles that come and go. Oh, I'm educated this way. They're not. I
Oo.
went to this school that's so high up there, but yet kayo public school lang ang pinanggalingan ninyo.
Oo.
Yung may mga ganon, distinctions
Or I'm the CEO and you are the janitor. Ganon eh.
and this is
Thinking
my plan.
thinking of positions.
Never interfere with my plans, okay? Because I know what I'm doing, Things like that. You have so many. Then you create barriers, and then you create difficulties amongst each other. And then you know where this leads to?
Trouble. Always conflict.
We may not look at it on that level, but we can look at it in the level of your own conflicts internally.
Yeah.
It's your own struggle because it is not your nature.
Yeah, it goes against your real nature.
Yeah, when you start to do
To find
things which is
differences.
not this, again, this is not my nature.
Mm-mm.
The end result is simply unhappiness right away. The result of your action, because what makes the human being different from everybody else that we see around us, the animals, the trees, the birds, is that from the very start of our existence, as a child, we freely play around as we are innocent, yeah?
Mm-mm.
Ganun ang mga bata. Ngayon, alam mo naman ang bata kapag hindi normal yung upbringing niya, kunyari na-abuse yung mga bata pa lang na-abuse na.
Oh, they learn also to be violent.
Yeah,
Oo.
the violence begins.
Mm-mm.
And I could see in the early days when we were doing programs for assisting street children, we find that at the end of the day, they're toughening up because of their immaturity. Creates that sort of I have to be tough image because it has to do with survival. The moment a young child or a young boy or a young teenager is in the streets and trying to survive on its own, everything that kumbaga na magiging streetwise ako
O
para
kasi
ako mag-survive. Yun ang
yung
kanyang
innocence
instinct.
niya, parang he starts to build a wall against himself, against a wall to protect himself
To
from
protect
the
himself.
outside.
You
Yeah,
see,
that's hurting him.
Especially a child would only leave home for a reason.
Oh, usually from abuse.
From
Oh,
abuse.
Or baka wala na siyang home.
Oh.
No more parents.
So may ganun eh. I mean, this is a lot of the stories. 90% of those we found staying in the parks, sleeping in the bus stations,
Mm-mm.
and outside of the church
Yeah.
grounds. Nakikita namin dun. We would distinctly look for them in places like that because we knew where they would go. Now,
Somewhere they can lie down.
kung saan sila nakakahiga.
Patulog.
You know, when we pick them up, siyempre, takot sila eh. Ay, baka pulis kayo. Or from the government, may mga ganun eh. Nira-round up sila, tapos kumbaga na, whatever they do with them, they're the ones they run away from. Kasi these guys run away from home. So it's a difficulty. There's a lot of difficulties for you. Can you imagine you run away from home as a
Yeah,
young child?
you don't trust anybody anymore.
Right.
So mahirap sila rin
So,
kunin. Oo.
what we did was simple. Ako nga, I was teaching martial arts that time. And I opened my gym for free for many of them. They come at a certain time. Alam nyo,
Because they have the right to an education.
right.
Oo.
Eh, hindi sila nag-aaral.
Yeah, but at least
They were in the
they're
streets,
learning something. Oo.
So what we did was, okay, we went around where they hang out in the markets and stuff. We gave around invitation. Oh, libreng taekwondo program dito sa Red Cross building. Magpunta kayo twice a week. Tuesday, Thursday, ganitong oras.
Mm-mm.
Alam nyo, it started with 4 or 5. Within a week, we already had a full gym. And then
Ano yung capacity ng gym noon?
40.
Malaki rin. Oo.
40 to 50. Puno kagad. And then pretty soon, we're feeding them. Pretty soon, we're finding out their names.
Oo, giving
Their
them
story.
clothes and shoes.
Right.
Oo.
And then pretty soon, uniforms na. May uniforme na sila. Yung nagkaroon ng uniform, mas lumami pa yung ano. Kasi kumbaga,
Siyempre natuwa sila.
totoo ito ah.
Oo. Yeah.
It's a real thing that we're doing. So eventually, one of them, who was a gang leader
In the market.
in the
Oo.
market, mga snatchers,
Oo.
we found out, he comes from a family of educators,
Mm-mm.
uncles, grandfather, and ano to, taga Bontok,
So he's very intelligent young man.
talino, very smart.
And not only was he smart, he was also caring. Kaya nga naging leader siya ng
Leader
mga
siya.
bata. Kasi inalagaan niya sila.
Nag-aalaga siya, siya yung naging
Kuya.
kuya.
Mm-mm.
But he's not that old. Some of them are older than him. But siya yung influencer.
May
kumbaga,
leadership siya kasi.
sa panahon ngayon niya na ginagamit. At a young age, he was an influencer.
Mm-mm.
He became a national champion in Taekwondo.
And he was educated
And
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 he's
now,
also an educator.
he's now a masteral, he's teaching.
Oh, he's teaching
And
now.
the story that you hear and you see, then you go, wow, everybody's quite gifted with many things. But a sense of responsibility is what makes us distinct. We can live a life with a reason, a deeper reason, and a sense of responsibility simply because as human beings, we are responsible for our actions. As a child, we're being nurtured by our parents, our relatives, teachers in schools. Tinuturuan tayo maging, okay, this is how you, as a human being, this is the way you should act. This is what dignity is. This is what sharing is. This is what being caring is. You value life. Tinuturo sa atin yan. And it takes so long to keep nurturing a person. It takes a lifetime. Right? Sa animals, makikita nyo, ma-develop na nila yung fighting skills nila, mature na sila. Alam nyo, pag tinignan nyo yung mga pusa, there's no pusa gym. Hindi naman sila nagwo-workout para maging malakas, makahunt sila sa mga wildlife. No. They're gifted with that. Their body is gifted with that type of agility that they can respond and react according to their survival needs. But for us, di ba, meron tayo, binagmimimik pa tayo, this is how the animals move, this is how you get strong, Sa martial arts, ganyan eh. Tiger claw, snake, and all of that stuff. Pero kung hindi kayo mag-workout ng 3 araw, nawawala na yung skill niyo at lakas niyo. Simply
You
because
don't use it, you lose it.
you lose it. But with them, the cats, the animals, they just lie down. They don't have to work out. Unless they live in the house. It's another story. But if they
The more
live,
they get out of
they live in the environment like this,
the
and
cats
they
in the houses, they get even more lazy.
domesticated the word.
They get
But anyway, the point is,
overweight.
we as human beings, as individuals, we are responsible for every action we do. For every action we perform, there is a reaction. It may be a good activity. It may be an activity that leads you to suffer the consequence of your action, and others do suffer too. Nakita natin na that is the distinction.
But
this,
also
this
back
is
to
a
those.
gift, though. It should not be taken in context na from ano yun. Pero that comes with our package. That comes with our form. That's why we need to be educated.
And we have the right to an education. Like those children who were unfortunate, they were out there in the streets, given the right conditions, no? They flourished.
Right.
Diba? Kasi we gave them
an opportunity.
We gave them the respect, knowing that, oh, here's a child, he needs a place to stay, he needs clothes, he needs education, he needs food. Given those things that are rightfully theirs dapat, then yun, nagbago ang buhay nila. So like now, you forgot to mention that later on, we also had a home for the children na.
Right. We were able to build a shelter for them.
A shelter for the children.
It's still in existence right now, and it's still, the programs are ongoing. And there's so many opportunities that, given the right situation in life, you will find. with things distinct from one another. And if we are engaged in this action, service, and making the best of what your life is, you will find your life will flourish and the lives of others will flourish with you.
Plus, also included in our human rights, remember, are those who are what we call disabled, not who are differently abled. So, hindi yan, like now, yun ang problem minsan. I think recently was also the day for the disabled in the world, no? Sila rin, no? Sometimes kasi in our culture dito sa Philippines, minsan, ano yan eh, hindi siya makarinig or hindi siya makakita. So the parents, because they are poor, many parents who are poor, who have children who are differently abled, hindi na nila pinapaaral yung isa kasi they're thinking, oh, we'll just send to school the smartest of our kids, the one who's most able. So hindi nagkakaroon ng opportunity yung disabled, but really we can have also that right to an
we can
education.
see that in how our educational system is designed.
Oh, there are very few schools for the specially able, no, special children. Oo.
Kaya nga tawag doon, SPED.
Oo.
So
but actually, ang daming
special child.
Oo.
And most children, actually, we should not be looking at, oh, yan, special yan. Iba yung naisip natin. Every human form of life
has the right
is special.
Yes.
Because compared to all the other numbers, how many trees are there? How many birds are there? How many fish species are there? Billions. Okay? In the vastness of the ocean and the expanses of the land. But with the human form of life, we can actually know, okay, we have a number.
Mas konti
tayo. Kakaunti lang
Mas
tayo.
rare yung ganitong
in
form.
This farm of 9 hectares, how many people are here at this very moment? There's only baka 7 of us. But how many trees are here?
And the ants, my God.
And the insects.
Oh,
the numbers,
count the ants.
we lose kumbaga sa numbers. But yet, the sad part of this is, it requires so much for us to get by and live. Kumbaga, marami tayong resources na ginagamit kumpara sa mga iba-ibang creatures.
Right? And then now, I mean, we could live with so little.
Yes.
But
that's the point.
People have changed their ways.
Right.
So we're destroying the planet just to get what we think will make us happy.
Yeah. So this is the irony of it. That's why values, deeper purpose in our existence is very important. So we were designed to such a way that the needs of our body and mind, right? The resources doesn't require so much. There's a means for us to live. Actually, may guidance nga yan. Actually, the closer we are to nature, the simplicity, the serenity of that existence becomes very pronounced in our life. So we tend to be on the side of looking at the most good and the positive things that you can do as a person. Right? We can also see the negativity of that, but because a person lives with a higher purpose, he understands full well that, sometimes you're happy, sometimes there's sadness, it rains, it's sunny, and sometimes it's in between. Ganyan ang buhay, Dumadaan-daan lang tayo sa ganyan na sitwasyon.
Sana
we
nga
all
lahat
know,
ganun mag-isip.
Right. And kumbaga now we all tend to live and go and live in the urban centers, and
nalimutan na natin
our values
yung
have
simple
changed.
life.
Yeah.
Oo.
And instead of kumbaga our resources that we use to exist, to live, we don't even know where it's coming from. We don't even understand how it's manufactured. We don't even know the very process of how these things take place. But yet, we are numb with many of these things. So it's important for us. Because the point I was getting at is, there has to be a reason to why you live. So all the actions you perform, you know why? Okay, I eat this much food. How's the food produced? I need so much water in one day. Where's the water coming from? right? These are resources provided for us. But the more a person lives with the reason and responsibility, the more he becomes more attuned and mindful of, oh, wow, I'm using the resource of my grandchildren. Maabot sa mga punto na gano'n. Anyway, batiin pa natin. Saldi Tan, good morning. Then si Vera Enriquez, good morning to you. Saldi, always make the best of what you have. No? Erwin and Dory, good morning to you.
And Ver Enriquez,
So kung meron kayong
Melina,
share, then please. Sa atin nga, all you need to do is to drive in the traffic. And your road rage ng mga tao, to get you to that level, you can find there's something that is not right. When you find yourself in such situation that there's anger growing in your heart and frustration. Because we've been gifted and given an opportunity to overcome these things. And we can embrace a life that is meaningful in the middle of all the turmoil and the difficulties existing in the world we live in. We can still have a solitude, a quiet place, internal.
Okay, so right now, walang masyadong social justice in around the world, kaya nagkakagulo-gulo, di ba? But with the human rights, kasi he's talking about also how we deal with each other. Yeah? When we reach out to each other with our hearts, then wala dapat social injustice eh. Normal lang yan na everything will be all right. So
Kasi yung
what
essence
if
nga
we are
natin,
selfish?
right.
Yan, walang
Yung essence
justice.
kasi, that's why it boils down to understanding our true nature.
Mm-mm.
Without that, how do you nurture that? How do we each other nurture to bring about our true essence? See, this is the most, kumbaga, we find it lacking in our own lives. If this is lacking in this way, you'll find it's very hard to adjust. You tend to be self-centered instead of, oh yeah, everybody is equal. And that you're not just saying it, but you're actually feeling it. So that means the way you live your life, you can understand very well that, okay, this is all the resources I need to exist. This is where it comes from. That's my physical and my mental existence. But as a person, the very essence, this is where, kumbaga, there's something else that we need, and that's deeper, that comes in our heart. And the basis of that is what keeps us going in life. What inspires us? If you ask each other, what inspires you? What is the most inspirational thing in life? What is the most valuable thing in life? When you talk about value, it's something that we keep and we can maintain the rest of our existence. It's not just, oh, I value this car or this house, but yet eventually
It's still love, the love that you feel.
and that love is planted in all of our hearts.
Mm-mm.
It is the unconditional love that we all have, this gift of experiencing this unconditional love. We can see it in parents, a mother raising a child, sacrificing her time and energy and her own very physical existence to raise a child. We find this happening. What drives a person to do that? Or there are people we meet. Minsan may makikita ka ng some of our workers, you will find, alam mo, ito is nurturing. Pag nag-handle siya ng halaman, handle with care kagad. May mga ganon silang traits, These are the goodness in them, and they recognize the fact that I'll do a good job and I'll take care of plants and I'll be careful. So similarly, see, as human beings, this is something that is so important in our existence. Okay? And daman-daman natin.
Okay, we're nearing our...
So anyway, please, Pasko ngayon, padating, di ba?
Mm-mm.
The greatest gift,
Yeah, Jesus came to teach us What is really the greatest gift?
The greatest gift. The matchless gift.
Uh-uh.
A gift that cannot be matched in this world. It is a gift of love. The unconditional love that our Father has given us. True Father. And we treasure this. We share this. We see this as a we can have this vision of that, not just kumbaga hindi mo nakikita yung distinctions. Nakikita mo na yung
All the
essence
same.
niyan parehas.
Yeah, when Jesus was here, was teaching this, diba?
Yeah.
He didn't look at somebody na kahit the
May
taxpayer,
sakit, may
whom
bulag,
everybody
may taxpayers.
hated.
Everybody's
Mahal niya.
equal. Patas. Di ba?
Oo.
Hindi siya yung, ay nako, napapahirap ng buhay yung mga yan. Di ba? Hindi. Dapat mahalin. Magkaroon ng unawa. Maging mapagbigay. I-humble natin ang sarili natin. We can embrace these values in our lives. And it will make a big difference sa ating existence. So, maraming pong salamat sa inyong lahat. Mag-ingat kayo palagi. Okay, naghabol pa. Good morning, Mary.
Hello, Mary, Erwin,
Dory.
Dory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sige.
Okay,
Have a
everybody
nice
stay
weekend and you
well.
take care. Thank you.
Pangkalusugan, pangkalikasan, go Palakas.